Evil Bong. What is an Evil Bong? What are the Evil Bong movies? How many are there? I was asking myself these same questions a while ago when me and my friends were looking for movies that were so bad they're good. I love watching movies like that. There's some classics out there. But a while ago, I saw Evil Bong referenced in a Watch Mojo video. So we watched it, thought it was pretty funny, really corny. But then I look it up on IMDb to find some information about it. And there's a shocking amount of movies out there. Like 8 movies in the franchise. What other franchise do you know has 8 movies that are actually legitimately good and of any high budget at all? These, of course, I found were super low budget and mega corny. Just reading the titles of these is a major meme. The covers are so exaggerated and absurd. So, I mean, I started doing some research. As I said, so far there's 8, maybe potentially more. They're from Full Moon Features or Full Moon Productions, this movie company where they make a bunch of these loyal fan base kind of movies, like really cheap horror movies, even some porn, even a combo of the two. But they make these super, obviously like bad, they're good movies, but sometimes they kind of miss their mark, and some are way more popular than others. They have some big names in the series like Killjoy and Puppet Master and Doll Man. Those are lame though. We got titles like The Killer Eye, Seed People, Ginger Dead Man 2, Passion of the Crust. No joke. Zombies vs. Strippers. Let that soak in. Zombies vs. Strippers. Did I not say there was a horror porn connection? Femalians. The Virgin Hunter trilogy, up there with the Toy Story trilogy, the Godfather trilogy, up there in the greats. The Ice Cream Man, all about killer ice cream. Halloween Night. I mean, look at these covers, look at these names. Oh, don't let me forget, a William Shatner collab. I mean, I rest my case, those are all household names. Everyone knows those films. When I saw those, and then I saw the Evil Bong franchise, I'm like, has anyone actually watched all 8? I mean, I'm sure people have, but have they documented it? Is there really going to be more in the future? Because if so, I got to get started now. I mean, there's some serious time devotion here. So when I did more research, the guy behind the franchise is named Charles Band, and he does a ton of movies for Full Moon. And I saw it even rumored that they're making 20 films for the Evil Bong franchise. I mean, talk about milking something. I also found out, upon looking more, there's actually a ton of really cool Evil Bong merch, which they make sure to plug in the movies. That's a fact. But the cool Evil Bong merch, they've got like statues. I was even gonna get one for the video and, you know, post it up in the back, but I don't smoke, so I don't want to be giving that vibe. There's even comic books and ashtrays. They've got it all. It's crazy. It's corny. So I said, let's document watching all 8 and let the watch grind begin. The first movie to be released was Evil Bong in 2006. Then it was Evil Bong 2 Devil's Harvest in 2009, Evil Bong 3 Reefer Madness 2011, Ginger Dead Man vs. Evil Bong 2013, Evil Bong 420 2015, Evil Bong High 5 2016, Evil Bong 666 2017, and then Evil Bong 777 in 2018. When the total of all 8 films are combined, it adds up to be 9 hours, 41 minutes, and 51 seconds. Warning, massive spoilers for all 8 films. Complete plotlines will be told, and it's most likely going to be super confusing. Evil Bong, the original, starts off with a nerd named Alistair who moves in with a group of stoners named Larnell, Brett, and Bachman. They purchase a haunted bong they found in the newspaper. Luann, Brett's girlfriend, and her friend Jeanette come over to the apartment. Bachman, one of the stoners, smokes the haunted bong and is taken into the realm. The bong realm is basically just a deadly strip club. Larnell's grandpa comes over later and nearly discovers Bachman's supposed dead body. Larnell smokes the same bong and is taken into the bong realm. The girls come over again, and a couple of them smoke from the evil bong. Luann, Brett, and Jeanette are sucked into the realm as Alistair later smokes to save them. Jimbo, the previous owner of the bong, aka Tommy Chong, is called over to save the group. Jimbo, with the help from Alistair, get everyone out safe. Evil Bong 2 Devil's Harvest starts with Alistair revisiting his stoner friends and realizing they all have some sort of advanced side effect of smoking weed. Brett is fat from munchies, and Luann hates him for it. Rabbit the old delivery man comes over and explains the Evil Bong's origins. They realize she's from South America and they travel to the Amazon. There they meet Felicity, who they think's a cannibal at first, but then helps them with their illnesses. Larnell's grandpa is actually behind a huge weed selling business in the Amazon. Rabbit finds out about the money and starts working for Grandpa. Grandpa also puts together the broken pieces of Evil Bong from the first film. They have a run-in with the Poontang tribe, who attacks them and takes them to the King Bong. Everyone smokes from the King Bong to get sucked into the realm to save one another. In the realm, Rabbit turns into a giant human joint, and Larnell realizes that smashing an amulet will bring everyone to the world and save them. Evil Bong 3 Reefer Madness starts with a meteor hitting Earth containing the alien bong, and it is covered in fast-growing magic weed. Larnell, who is now a ninja, and Alistair meet and investigate. Brett and Bachman now own a weed shop, and they buy the alien bong. Bachman smokes from the new bong and is sucked into the realm. Rabbit also smokes from it, and the guys discover that it's magic weed. Larnell's grandpa, aka Dr. Weed, comes in and agrees to watch them as they enter the realm to save each other. Brett is held hostage on the outside world, while Gramps almost lets the alien bong take over. Inside, the aliens are milking humans for their jizz for repopulation. Bachman, who is now covered in a weed cocoon, has to be lit, combined with Larnell's use of kung fu to save them. Luann and Felicity also return to the shop, while Gramps finds a new magic weed
farm. Ginger Deadman vs. Evil Bong starts with Ginger on vacation and he decides to kill the baker that turned him into a gingerbread man. Larnell now owns a new weed shop and works with an annoying short guy and his girlfriend Felicity. A couple of stoners walk into the shop who Larnell tries to upsell. Full moon characters from Ooga Booga arrive in the shop, such as Hambo. Larnell hides the Evil Bong in his office while Rabbit comes in the shop, revealing that he's now a salesman of Evil Bong merchandise. Larnell actually goes into business with the Ginger Deadman's baker, who is named Sarah. Rabbit frees the Evil Bong and enters the realm by smoking her. Ginger Deadman kills a few people and then meets the Evil Bong for the first time. Ginger Deadman is also in the realm and he faces King Bong and the Pastry Council. Rabbit and the Ginger Deadman stay in the realm while Larnell and Sarah escape to safety. Evil Bong 420 starts with Ginger Deadman still in the realm while Rabbit has escaped and started a topless bowling alley. Several chicks arrive at the bowling alley and attempt to get hired. Ginger Deadman really wants out of the realm because he is bored and he's realized Rabbit has escaped. Various full moon characters arrive at the bowling alley from different films. Larnell and Sarah come in for a covert date at the bowling alley. The two stoners from the previous film arrive. Meanwhile, Ginger Deadman is furious in the bong realm. Felicity arrives at the bowling alley to find that Larnell is cheating with Sarah. Rabbit uses this newly made magic weed blower to make everyone in the bowling alley happy. Ginger Deadman and Evil Bong get out of the realm and Ginger threatens to kill the baker again. Evil Bong then brings everyone back into the realm at the end of the film. Evil Bong High Five starts with Felicity, Larnell, Sarah, Ginger, Rabbit, who are stuck in the realm, and the guys escape by making a deal with the Evil Bong. The deal is they have to make $1 million by selling miniature Evil Bongs to free the girls that are stuck in the realm. Gramps arrives in the shop and brings Larnell's more successful brother to shame him. Various full moon characters come into the shop and purchase the bongs. Larnell and Rabbit campaign to sell bongs by making a commercial. The two stoners and other oddballs come in and buy a couple bongs while the girls are still trapped. Evil Bong arrives and the money isn't saved up yet. Full moon characters buy the rest of the supply and they raise the money and free the girls and everyone is safe. Evil Bong 666. This is where it gets confusing. A new character, Lucifer, now owns the shop and it is more dark and dreary. The two stoners from before come in to buy and she kills one of them. When she does that, a portal to Sexy Hell opens and Lucy realizes with more murders she can get to Sexy Hell. Sarah, aka Luann, is now a Killjoy character known as Fox Fatty Boop. Rabbit helps Lucifer sell while other reoccurring characters come into the new shop. Fox Fatty Boop meets a new character, Misty, who offers to help her find Killjoy. Lucifer kills 2 more people and the portal is ready to enter. Ginger Deadman, Fox Fatty Boop, and Misty enter the shop and get sucked into Sexy Hell. They meet Satan, who hold them hostage. Sarah kills Ginger Deadman, and in the real world, Rabbit and Evil Bong make a new character, Ginger Weedman. Ginger Weedman then has to outsmoke Satan in order to free everyone and send everyone back to the real world. Evil Bong 777. This will probably make 0 sense. Ginger Weedman, Rabbit, Fox Fatty Boop, Misty, and Evil Bong decide to go to Las Vegas. Lucifer is still in Sexy Hell with Satan. The group goes to a puppet show, which is a puppet sex show. The group travels then to a haunted sheep hotel. There, the stoners are now ghosts and they take them to their rooms. Ginger Weedman cheats on Fox Fatty Boop with a call girl. Rabbit tries to find love but ends up finding a trans chick. Lucy then creates Ginger Dead siblings from Ginger Deadman's dead remains. They end up traveling back to the old shop where Phoebe from the bowling alley runs it, and Lucifer and Phoebe meet for the first time. In the end, they end up heading to the Monster Museum where they run into the Ginger Dead siblings and it cuts to black.
Now that I've seen all 8 movies, what are my thoughts? The way I watched these movies was through the Full Moon streaming website, which when I actually looked up the movies, I realized there were some name changes. Evil Bong 2 King Bong was changed to Devil's Harvest, and Evil Bong 3D was changed to Evil Bong 3 Wrath of the Bong. Then it was changed to Evil Bong 3 Reefer Madness. No idea when the names were changed, but I thought it was odd. I'm talking super mediocre, super run-of-the-mill. Exactly what you would expect. They're known for corny movies. They're known for bad, they're good. When it comes to actually how rewatchable they are, the first 3 pretty solid. High Five, garbage. 666 and 777, we're talking absolute trash. There are some parts in these movies that aren't even purposely trying to be funny or bad. They're just major cringe. Cringe from just being super unself-aware.
Stormy, I got something to say. Oh, where am I?
If you're looking for a scene with some cringe and some failed jokes, any scene with the 2 stoners that are in like half of the film.
We came in here to have fun and stuff.
Perfect. You came to the right place.
Doesn't look like a skate park, dude.
Well, that's good to hear because this is a bowling alley.
I told you, when we saw doors in the roof, it didn't look right.
What do we do here that's fun?
Parts here and there, very rarely, there are some legitimate laughs.
All the giggling, the glassy-eyed longing looks. High fives turned into low fives, if you know what I mean. And monkey, just a code word for, well, you know.
But mostly, they kind of miss the mark in that department. It almost feels like when the movies are progressing, they're getting less and less professional. Maybe it's because their corny style of comedy kind of fits the VHS old movie, early 2000s vibe, and when everything starts getting nicer and everything starts getting more outdated, and they're using the same methods, it gets old and it just seems really amateur at times. Parts of these movies, just not even just the appearance, I'm getting a TV show vibe. The transitions in between scenes from the sets, the lack thereof, the acting, the plot lines. I mean, everything doesn't seem like a movie. Some of the content for these movies is so lackluster. It's like a transition movie. It's like, doesn't need to be there. Ginger Deadman versus Evil Bong didn't need to exist. The movies have crappy plots, bad structure, all that. When it's a villain facing a villain, they don't meet till like 3/4 of the way through the movie. I'm talking with like almost 10 minutes left. They meet and then interact, and the ending is super lame. It's just Ginger Deadman stays in the bong realm. The next movie, they interact more, but it just was not worthy of a movie. It's totally skippable. Despite the hate, Ginger Deadman's pastry puns were clever at times.
Just thinking, if it weren't for that stupid floozy at that bakery who turned me into this, I'd be blowing custard all over all three of you. Look at me. I'm shooting flour here.
Don't be so down on yourself.
Like I said, the set pieces, just the settings, there's less of them. Like, I'm talking quantity wise. Like, in the later films, they'll pick a location and film like 90% of the shots there. In the beginning of the franchise, it wasn't crazy, but they had a couple different settings that looked okay. They were good for low budget. But later, they just choose a location and base the whole movie around it, which gets pretty old. Throughout the film, it's got a meme of a soundtrack. I even listened to this thing on Spotify. No joke, it's on Spotify. At least for the first film. I didn't see the others, but they reuse a bunch of songs. And there are some cringe anthems on there. I mean, we're talking songs from ICP, The Insane Clown Posse, The Booty Boys, and we got some songs like God Smokes Weed. The lyrics for that song are,
I think God smokes weed, and he was high when he made me.
That's poetry in its purest form, if you ask me. But some of the songs like Bong Toke, kind of catchy and really get stuck in your head. And I guess they fit. I mean, they're corny artists. They fit some scenes here and there. The character personalities, the characters the actors are portraying aren't that bad, and they kind of fit, especially the original stoner pack. I mean, the idea of a nerd combined with a bunch of stoners leads to an okay plotline. Later in the franchise, they are pushing these other movies with infusing characters from other full moon movies, and it just gets confusing, and there's too many new characters. Too many people are dropping out of the franchise because they know it's taking a major nosedive. So when it's all said and done at the end of the franchise, I mean, if you're really technical, Rabbit and Sarah / 100 other names are the only characters that are literally in every one of the 8 movies. And like I said, with the actor changes and dropouts, don't get too attached to an actor or a character because they'll most likely be gone in the next film or changed. Alistair changes 3 times in the first 3 movies. I mean, come on, no one wanted to play Alistair. One actor for Evil Bong 1, another one for Evil Bong 2, another one for Evil Bong 3, and then Alistair was just gone in the 4th film. You'll actually grow to like some of the characters because they get these one-liners that they repeat all the time. And they have some genuine funny moments, especially Larnell, which in my opinion keeps the series going. He's the only one that I find remotely funny because he's a good balance of like self-aware, but also purposely trying to be bad to be funny. It makes sense if you've seen it. He's not trying to be a serious actor in these movies, and some of his jokes actually land. Something that's pretty funny mid-franchise is Larnell starts doing these bro combos with a celebrity's name. Those are actually kind of funny.
Bro Frazier, Lindsay Brohan, Mila Brovovich.
And his iconic yelp is a little bit funny as well. When it comes to cameos in this movie from other full moon franchises, they plug the hell out of their other movies, and they act like they're super well known, like everyone's gonna instantly recognize them and be like, oh, they got this guy from that movie in here. You don't get that effect. There's some that return, especially in the last 4, that are just not funny. It almost feels like a promotional movie just to promote other movies of theirs, especially Ooga Booga. Never heard of the film, never seen the film, but they act like everyone who's seen Evil Bong has seen it. So they include a ton of characters in it, and they are funny! To really mention cameos, I mean, towards the end of the last season, they do a little bit of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Stellar film, another one that was in the category of so bad they're good. Classic status on that boy. They have these merch plugs that are so blatant. They put the link for the merch on screen like 6 times in one movie. It gets really annoying and it seems super forced.
We have recently procured a website domain for these high-end collectibles.
Dude, they're so old they look like antiques.
Whatever sells, bub. Why don't you tell them where they can get these badass dolls, Piggy?
www.badassdolls.com.
Actor choices are pretty interesting. They got some real odd looking guys, but they fit the parts. I don't want to meme on them too hard. The most notable guy they got was Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong, which that was pretty cool. Related to actor choice is the way that they'll have one actor play 2, maybe 3 roles with like different names, sometimes both on screen at the same time, both in the same movie. Majorly confusing and really hard to keep track of the names. When it comes down to like my favorite parts of the film, I love when they have all the unique Bong characters. I mean, you got Evil Bong, which is, main character, King Bong, Alien Bong, the Pastry Council, Ginger Dead Man, Ginger Weed Man. They're all kind of cool, they're all corny. Plus I like the puppetry. I mean, it's really cool. Sometimes the effects are bad, like the mouth over Ginger Dead Man's funny, but it's fitting. Those are why I go to the movie, because I like the weird puppetry and just the weird characters they come up with. Like I said, the Pastry Council, which is this group of different puppets that are themed like pastries, a brownie, and a different type of cookie. They're all talking to Ginger Dead Man. Definitely a highlight. Really corny, really cool. That's the kind of stuff that I like in these films. A major meme to mention, especially when it comes to characters, is the voice choice for Ginger Weed Man. Can we just address that?
Your worst nightmare. I'm Ginger Weed Man. I've been sent by Mom and Dad to save you.
I don't know if it's just me. I don't think it fits. Kind of distracting. Even though the movies are meant to be corny and they're meant to have that camp aspect, they have some issues. Not to say they have a high budget and the effects need to be top scale, but the CGI and green screen effects are pretty lazy. It almost seems like they get progressively worse. Other weird parts is whenever they're in a whatever Bong realm, they just have these weird glowing rings on the side, straight out of a Gmod effect. They use that same effect when they're doing these long recaps. We're talking movies that are barely an hour, maybe a little over an hour, and a recap that literally lasted 10 minutes. 10 minutes! You have 60 minutes of film, and 10 minutes of it is spent recapping the previous 3 films. Crazy unnecessary. If someone's on the 4th Evil Bong movie, they're gonna have watched the first 3. Why would you jump in at 4? Also, if you really nitpick and pay attention, there are some mistakes. Like some timing pops up on screen. You'll even see a hand pop up for the puppet master of Ginger Dead Man. Really not that big a deal, but it almost seems like they rush these movies so much that they barely, scan through them for mistakes in post-production. Like I said, with the quality throughout the series, some of these shots seem straight out of my multimedia projects from high school. They're amateur. I know it sounds like I'm breaking down the details too much, but some of these shots are kind of, retake it. It does not look good. One thing that I like to hear for in the movies and point out was the voice overdubs when they had a character turn around and they didn't want to match the mouth up or retake the scene, so they just have a guy speak over it. The dubs were so funny.
Consider yourself a roomie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this is all good. This is all you. This kingdom, this castle.
Kind of another thing I like, which goes with the corniness, is the makeup, the costumes. I mean, they fit the vibe. Fat Brett is so gross, and Hambo with the pig nose, pretty nasty, but pretty funny. There's a section in these films that just perfectly encapsulates how, poorly made they are. They'll be transitioning to a location, especially when they're going to the Amazon, and they'll use a low-res Google image search picture of the Amazon forest, have it pan down screen, and call that a transition. It seems super corny. I mean, what can you expect? At this point, it fits. I didn't even mention one of the biggest aspect of these films, the massive amount of nudity in these 8 movies. It gets so much more prevalent as the series goes on. I can show less and less footage without blurring the entire screen or blurring massive chunks, and it almost seems like it's a major plot point. Ginger Dead Man is always surrounded by chicks, and in the 7th film, they just don't care anymore. Low-key a softcore porno at times. If you want to know what I mean, look up the Evil Bong 777 Puppet Elvis sex scene. You will know what I'm talking about. Even if you look on IMDb, towards the later movies, a third of the cast is legitimate porn stars. I rest my case there. With that, that's pretty much all I have to say about these movies. Overall, probably one rewatch. Definitely a grind. Definitely a one-time thing. To conclude, after watching the 8 movies and making my remarks, there's some good moments here and there. It's pretty grindy, especially towards the end for several reasons. I even found myself dozing off at times, but mostly when I think about the movie, it was just a lot of good ideas kind of executed poorly. Like I said, I can't over criticize a movie that's not even super serious. It's more for fun. It shouldn't be held in regard of other movies that are criticized. A lot of the time I'm memeing and not super serious. Just because it's a movie that's bad that it's good on purpose, that doesn't mean it has to have a crappy structure, bad storyline, because there is some good stuff there. If they elaborate on those cool ideas, it could be pretty dope. Some of the plots in the movies are legitimate garbage though. In terms of what they talk about could have been condensed in a couple films. It just seems like they're really milking some ideas. A lot of the endings felt rushed, but I mean, they're going for a short runtime. I mean, what can you expect? A lot of stuff will happen in the last like 8 minutes. It'll be super rushed. I don't really care that much, but like for being an Evil Bong, she starts off as a villain. Her role's kind of all over the place, kind of an ally, which I mean, that happens in movie franchises. Kind of back to a villain. Overall, I don't really mind that aspect about her. Kind of shows some, character arc.
If I had to rank all 8 films in terms of best to worst, it would start with Evil Bong 3 because it had a lot of unique characters and a pretty solid storyline. Then it would be the original Evil Bong because it had the classic actors, a lot of people have seen it, and it's pretty well known. Then it would be the second one. It has a lot of cool puppets, cool storyline, and some good oddball comedy. Then it would have to be Evil Bong 420. Not a great film, a lot of full moon characters take over the plot, but there was some funny moments. From there on out, it's not very good, starting with High Five, okay movie, Larnell's Last, sadly, just mediocre, Evil Bong 666, pretty garbage, some new characters introduced, new storylines, pretty rough to watch, Ginger Deadman vs. Evil Bong, awful versus movie, does not hold up to what the title suggests because they barely interact in the movie. Then finally Evil Bong 777, absolutely milking a franchise, crappy storylines, barely any originals around, and just nudity overload.
Overall, I would maybe rewatch the first 3. I definitely would recommend them to people who like movies like that. Some of them are like somewhat serious, very little. They are comedies, that's why I'm saying they're kind of serious. I would recommend watching the first 3, they're not bad. The other ones progressively gets worse. But they've got a good mix of corniness, camp. Some movies have some decent plots, and I like the characters, and especially how they change throughout the series. I went through the effort of watching all 8 of these movies, so you didn't have to. Grindy, overall major meme status, a ton more fun to watch with friends, and probably a lot more enjoyable if you're actually high. As a final note, I assume this is the last Evil Bong movie in the franchise. I mean, we're at 8 films. They usually release pretty consecutively over the last couple of years, and it's early in the year where they typically release in 2019, and we're yet to see one, or even hear about one in a campaign, or any sort of information online. So more might release in the future, but all signs showed that this is the last one. No joke, late discovery. Somewhere along the line, there was a movie, Evil Bong vs. the Killer Crack Pipe. Will it ever come out? I don't know. Might have to cover it. Anyway, see you next time.